Come on. Greetings folks and welcome to the channel. Will H still in the race. The channel focused on getting out there and challenging ourselves as we get older. As you've seen, we're out with the dog again for a short vlog looking back on last week's training. Week 2 of my training plan for a faster park run. We'll start the week on Monday, because Monday's the first day of the week. Just keep an eye on my dog. Come on, Farah. Just going to give her a kick up the butt. Now here she comes. Monday, which was my easy zone 2 trail run. About 6 kilometers, just over 6 kilometers again, about 40 minutes. It was a bit slower than last week. I ran at about 7.5 minutes per kilometre pace as opposed to 7 last week. But that could have been down to the fact that this week I actually did carry my pack. Pack was between 10 and 12 pounds in weight, which simulates my pack for a longer ultra, just to continue to simulate carrying that weight as I would in a race. I managed to stay in zone 2 for the whole of the run this time once I got there. So it was a nice solid run, nice and controlled, and a really enjoyable day out in the woods. There's no such thing as a bad run in the woods, in my opinion. Tuesday, I did my first strength and conditioning session of the week. I did a short mobility session again. And this was again, it was just a 20-minute follow along that I found on YouTube, mobility for runners. As I've said, I believe as we're getting older, we should add a little bit of focus to mobility. Because I'm not as supple as I used to be. And running sort of stiffens your joints sometimes. Later in the day, it was my treadmill session. This was hard intervals. This was a hard session. I found it very hard. Again, I did a 10-minute warm-up, just gradually building up the pace into the main set. Then the main set was 6 lots of 2 minutes at 4:43 per kilometre, followed by 1 minute at 4:32 per kilometre. So under overs, 2 minutes under target, 1 minute faster than target. And then I did a 90-second recovery between each rep, because these reps were hard. And again, the recovery was walked. Focus of the recovery is to get myself ready for the next interval. I had good solid form on every interval, and although I was a bit tired at the end, I took it out of us, I felt like I could have done 1 or 2 more intervals. So that's the way I like to finish. Then I did a warm down again, about 10 minutes, just to slow down before taking the dog for a walk, just to finish me warm down. And this time I had the treadmill at an incline between 2 and 4%, varying the incline a little bit just to add a bit of variety. The whole session totaled about 7 kilometers and took about 45 minutes. I'll put the visuals up here or here so you can see what that looked like. But that was Tuesday. Wednesday, again, based on my training plan, is a rest from all cardio exercise. No cardio, just relax, recover, because that Tuesday session was hard and my legs were a little bit sore from it. So it was good to get that recovery. But I did do a second strength and conditioning session on Tuesday. It was a set of exercises that were provided to us from my physio that I've adapted over time, that focuses a little bit on the strength of my feet, my ankles and my calves. I suffer a little bit with tight calves, which leads to plantar fasciitis on a regular basis. So this is just a bit prehab to stop that happening. Just catch my dog here. So that was Wednesday, mainly rest, but a few physio exercises. I'll just interrupt this vlog here and ask you all a favour. I'm a very small, new channel, just trying to get going. It'd be great if you could click the like icon, that little thumbs up down there, and possibly subscribe to my channel. That would help this channel immensely. It costs you nothing, but it does help me out a lot. It'll help others see my content, and hopefully I can inspire a few more older runners out there, older athletes, older cyclists, it doesn't matter what. I can inspire a few more of us older folks out there to get out and continue doing the stuff we like. Now back to the vlog. Catch us later. Thursday, I got in a third strength and conditioning session. This was just a functional strength, which I do out in the garden, and it's a mixture of carrying, pushing, pulling, walking with weight, that sort of thing. Just a short session again, this time nearly half an hour, and a bit of functional strength. But that evening, it was my second workout of the week, the one where I focus on threshold / tempo intervals just below me LT2. Again, I use tempo, threshold phrases interchangeably, but you know what I mean. It was almost 45 minutes in length and about 6.3k. But this time the main set consisted of 4 lots of 4 minutes just below that LT2 point, so top of zone 3, maybe it's just touching into zone 4, and with 2 minutes recovery between sets. The sets we're doing is same as last week. Walked a few steps just to signal to my body that I'd finished the interval, and then straight into zone 2 for those 2 minutes. The intervals were hard, as I say, but not like what it is on a Tuesday, so you can easily just drop down into a zone 2 recovery. Then had a bit of a warm down, and that got us about just over 40% in upper zone 3 to zone 4, so where I wanted to be for the workout. So it was a good piece of work. I'll put my HR trace either here or here so you can see what that looked like. Friday is the first of the days where I can rest or cross train. I actually got up on Friday and I had sore glands a little bit here. So I thought I'm going to take the extra rest day this week because I want to be able to get my long run done the following day. So just rested. I took a total rest day. I didn't do any cardio and I didn't do any strength and conditioning. So that was Friday. Saturday, long run day. And to tell the truth, when I went out, I didn't feel it. First 2 or 3 kilometers, I just felt so sluggish. And I just didn't think I was going to get round. So at about the 5k mark, 5.5k, there's a petrol station. So I actually called in, got a Mars bar and a can of Coke, sat on the wall, had that and set off again. And you know what? I felt much better. Sometimes it's just your nutrition you need to get right for these longer runs. So the whole run was a couple of kilometers longer than last week. So it was 15k. And again, I'm trying to maintain my endurance that I built up while training for ultras this year. So I'm easing the distance back up. But this time, with it being an even week in my training plan, it was a fast finish run. So I inserted 3 kilometers of tempo at the nearly finish. Basically, 4 kilometers from the finish. I picked the pace up to that upper zone 3, which I do in my intervals, and I ran 3 kilometers there until 1 kilometer to go. Then I dropped down into a recovery warm down for the run. So that made a huge difference to the overall pace of my long run. Even though it was longer, the pace was about 6:52 per kilometer as opposed to last week's 7:15 per kilometer. What I'll do is I'll put the lap pace breakdown chart up so you can have a look at that. So that was my long run and I enjoyed it. Once I got over that feeling of feeling dead when I first went out, I really enjoyed my long run. Sunday, I was going to do a bit of cross training, but while I was out on Saturday, I got roped into helping a friend. Wait, no, my wife volunteered me into helping a friend to demolish an old brick wall on Sunday morning. So I spent Sunday morning knocking a wall down, but again, I did do a short upper body strength after that. So I thought, oh, I've started working my arms and shoulders, knocking a wall down. So I may as well finish it off. So I did 25 minutes upper body strength, so vanity stuff, arms, biceps, triceps, shoulders, that sort of thing. So that was Sunday. So there are a lot less sessions this week, but you need to be flexible with your plan. My plan has that flexibility built in with the optional sessions where I can do cross training or I can take a rest. It gives us that flexibility. So I nailed the sessions I needed to nail through the week, and I finished the week feeling quite good. Strength this week, I did 4 sessions, not just 3 that I'd planned, but I managed to get 4 in. That's over 90 minutes, an hour and a half, an hour and 40 minutes of strength work in week 2. I still don't feel I've got enough structure around the strength and conditioning, but we'll just see how it goes. And looking at the cardio, in summary, what we did was a zone 2 trail run, a really hard treadmill run, a rest day, mid-tempo intervals, another rest day, a long run, and finally a bit of demolition on Sunday. So that's what my week looked like, which in total gave us about 35 kilometers of running, about 3 hours 50, 23 kilometers of walking, which is just over 5 hours. So a combined run walk of almost 60 kilometers and 9 hours of work, with a total work time of 10 hours 40 if you include the strength. So it's less than last week, but that's down to those 2 weeks rest day I had. But I still feel I got out of the week what I'd planned to get out. As I've said to some of the lads I take out and do a bit of run leading for, a session should have a purpose. You should know what that purpose is going into it. Is it hard intervals? Is it going to improve your top end? Is it, an endurance session, etc.? And if you can get out of the session, if you feel you get out of the session what you plan to, it's been a successful week. So there we have it. I'll just display the week as a whole. I'll just dodge these trees. I'll just display the week as a whole. And we'll call it just a short vlog this week. I'm trying to get a bit smoother of doing these weekly recaps, and I might take a different approach next week. Watch this space. Farah, come on. There's my dog on the undergrowth. Farah, come on. Here she comes. There she goes. Back into the undergrowth. What? Have you spotted something? What's that? Come on.